Welcome, everyone. My name is Marla Fernandez, and we're going to talk a little bit about freedom and the American philosophy. In order to be truly free, we must promote freedom and equal opportunity. For this to happen, the government's role must protect life, liberty, and pursuit of property. Today we see government infringing on every aspect of our life, from creating its own religion and preventing people from accessing information so they make their own mind. The United States, in my opinion, serves as a model for all other nations. What the Founding Fathers created was a mixed government, but certain elites have started a spiraling journey towards a totalitarian regime of collectivism and majoritarian tyranny that is unable to resist elite manipulation. Our mixed government that check and balance one another, even as they strengthen participation, has been usurped and does not reflect the force of a traditional constitutional arrangement that can serve to enhance the quality of citizenship. The United States is a constitutional republic, and its citizens consent to law and choose representatives who protect their life, liberty, and pursuit of property. The United States is the best system of government, and there is no other government like it. The Cuban Republic models its government after the U.S. Actually, the Cuban Republic modeled its government after the United States, but it took them a long time to understand the system of rights, and in the end, was taken over by communists. It took me years of reading and studying to understand our system. It seems that public education has a wicked Marxist agenda. After reading over my essay that I'm writing, I realized that I had not fleshed out all the founding principles that were argued in my paper from when I was in college. I examined ideas, opinions, and arguments of past political philosophers. Upon further review, my experience and study of law, I can say that the U.S. has veered from our founding principles. It is unfortunate that Cuba fell to communism, but I understand why it fell. The country had a strong central government, weakened by democracy. Even more troubling is that America may fall to tyranny too. While Cuba was a republic with a constitution, the Cuban people did not understand how the American system of laws and rights worked. Before I start, I want to add perspective to the definition of a republic and a democracy. Both are majority rule and of and by the people, but in a republic, the people have representatives. When we add the Constitution to a republic, one gets rule by law. Even more troubling is that America may fall to tyranny too. American freedom is declining. We need to appreciate our individual freedoms and protect it by understanding politics, totalitarianism, and how government plays into our lives. The American Republic was an experiment that had never been done in history of the world. Before America, all the countries in the world were tyrannical. Madison in Federalist Paper number 39 defined a republic to be a government which derives all its powers directly or indirectly from the great body of people, and is administered by persons holding their offices during pleasure, for a limited period, or during good behavior. Madison also explained that it is essential that such a government derive from the great body of society, not from a inconsiderable proportion or favored class of it. Democracy is a flawed system that deteriorates into something far worse. Our founding fathers designed a system that would prevent a democracy or something worse, because a handful of tyrannical humans exercising their oppressions by a delegation of powers might appear to the rank of Republicans and claim for their government the honorable title of Republic. Madison also said, "It is sufficient for such a government that people of such a government be appointed, either directly or indirectly, by the people. Otherwise, every government in the United States, every popular government that has been or can be well organized or well executed, would be downgraded from a Republican character." Our founding fathers argued for the best form of government for a newly freed colony, for the newly freed colonies. I can't remember writing. Benjamin Franklin once said to a woman who asked the question, "What have you given us, sir?" "A constitutional republic, madam, with mixed government, if you could keep it." Our founding fathers were trying to protect personal freedom and avoid tyranny, creeping towards socialism and slavery. They thought all about all the possible kinds of governmental from democracy in ancient Greece to the Roman Republic to absolute monarchs, and they did not want any of those other governments. In short, the difference between a republic and a democracy is the difference between order and chaos. The American colonies rebelled against the tyranny of the Crown of England because of a slew of offenses laid out in the Declaration of Independence. England was repressive, abusive, and tyrannical. Our founding fathers opposed democracy because you cannot hold all the people in one room. Not everyone is knowledgeable, and not everyone really cares. Democracy is a weak form of government that almost always fails because it can quickly turn into an authoritarian dictatorship and then be converted to a totalitarian state. My cousin's book is an example of the true and total concept of the word democracy. I wanted to translate it so that you can understand why we do not want and why we do not want to steer clear, and why we want to steer clear from it. History repeats itself. With the prospect of the New World Order, we are told frequently we are a democracy, and we must keep democracy safe if in America. According to Fred Holden, author of the book Total Power of One in America, the U.S. Army's training manual of 1928 defined a democracy as a government of the masses, authority derived from the masses, meeting or any form of direct expression result in mobocracy. Attitude toward property is communistic, negating property rights. Attitude towards law is that the will of the majority shall regulate, whether it be based upon deliberation or governed by passion, prejudice, and impulse, without restraint or regard to consequences, result in demagogism, license, agitation, discontent, anarchy. Then the Army's training manual shared characteristics of a republic. Authority is derived through election by the people of public officials best fitted to represent them. Attitude toward property is respected for laws and individual rights and a sensible economic procedure. Attitude toward law is the administration of justice in accord with fixed principles and established evidence, with a strict regard for consequences. A great number of citizens and extent of territory may be brought within its compass, avoids the dangerous extreme of either tyranny or mobocracy, results in statesmanship, liberty, reason, justice, contentment, and progress. However, Fred Holden says something changed in 1952. The meaning of democracy changed. The Soldier's Guide said, because the United States is a democracy, the majority of the people decide how our government will be organized and run. And that includes the Army, Navy, and Air Force. The people do this by electing representatives, and these men and women then carry out the wishes of the people. Our Constitution, the Bill of Rights, and the Declaration of Independence doesn't mention democracy. Neither do the Federalist Papers. Words are ideas and tools of our thoughts, ideals, and motivations. The main difference between a democracy and a republic is that a republic is the rule by law, and in a democracy it is the rule by majority. So in a republic, the governors or the rulers are placed under the same law as the governed or the people. America was carefully designed by our founding fathers to be a republic, not a democracy. We are a nation of laws. We obey law. We aren't a democracy because in a democracy, the majority of people rule and are prone to manipulate the law, ignore it, creatively interpret it, or distort the law. When the majority of people rule, they often exert more power, become more oppressive of the rights of the minority, and becomes a mob rule, or as Madison put it, tyranny of the majority. Our founding fathers studied and debated these concepts well. James Madison gave this definition of a republic. We may define a republic to be a government which acquires all its powers from the people and is managed by the people, elected to office for a limited period or during good behavior. It is important that such a government acquires its power from the great mass of society, not from a small select few or an elite class. Otherwise, a handful of tyrannical elites employing their force over the masses by delegation of power on the people and by desire line up with Republicans and declare that their government is a republic. Then Madison explained a democracy as follows. Democracies are weak. They are tumultuous and enmity. Democracies don't go very well with personal freedom or personal property. They are short-lived and incur a violent death. In my opinion, from having studied law and politics, democracy never lasts. We are a Republican government. I am satisfied with what our founding fathers gave us. They gave us a system that will not destroy liberty or civilization or both. It is our duty to ensure that our republic isn't converted to a democracy. If it is, then revolution will surely overturn our system, as Alexis de Tocqueville warned. If ever the free institutions of America are destroyed, that event will arise from the unlimited tyranny of the majority. And with that, I hope you give me a chance and elect me this November. Vote Marla Fernandez for House District 3, and I will make sure that we remain a republic. Thank you very much. And don't forget, let's go, Brandon. And visit my website at marlafernandez4hd3.com and donate to my campaign.